Brief history of Western Han. Following the first emperor's death, the Qin's harsh rule triggers a massive collapse. A brutal power struggle emerges between a brilliant noble and a humble village headman. Xiang Yu wins early glory at Julu, positioning himself as the hegemon king. To marginalize him, Xiang Yu grants Liu Bang the isolated and rugged Han kingdom. While the world watches the roads, Liu Bang's secret army strikes the heartland. The military genius Han Sen uses a deceptive repair project to distract the enemy. Disaster strikes in 205 BCE, forcing the Han leader into a desperate retreat. At Jingxing, Han Xin wins by forcing his men to fight with no way to escape. By 202 BCE, the Chu forces are trapped and facing starvation at Gaizia. The songs of Chu convince Xiang Yu's men that their homeland has already surrendered. Defeated and broken, the hegemon king commits suicide by the river. A commoner ascends the throne, founding the dynasty that will define China. Gaozu faces the challenge of stabilizing a population exhausted by decades of war. He adopts a dual system, central control in the west and semi-autonomous kingdoms in the east. To secure his power, Gaozu systematically purges the warlords who helped him win. The White Horse Covenant decrees that only the Liu family can be kings. In 200 BCE, the emperor is nearly captured during a humiliating defeat by the Xiongnu. The Han adopt the He-Chen policy, peace through marriage and annual tribute. Annual payments of luxury goods are used to prevent nomadic raids. The state adopts Huang Lao Taoism, emphasizing non-interference and peace. Low taxes and reduced spending allow the agrarian economy to finally recover. Domestic stability leads to a resurgence of commerce and agricultural production. Early Han rulers lead by example, practicing frugality to nurture the people. This era of rest prepares the empire for the great expansion to come. Over time, the autonomous kingdoms grow into an existential threat to the throne. The princes mint their own money and collect their own taxes, defying the center. Cao Kuo urges a policy of Xiaofan, forcibly reclaiming territory from the kings. The reclaiming of fiefdoms pushes the regional lords to the brink of war. In 154 BCE, the rebellion of the Seven States ignites across the east. The rebellion poses the greatest challenge to the Han since its founding. The imperial general Zhou Yafu leads a disciplined response to the uprising. Within only 3 months, the imperial army crushes the massive rebel force. The central government strips the kings of their authority to appoint officials. The kingdoms are subdivided to ensure no prince can ever challenge the throne again. Regional power is replaced by a professional, centrally controlled bureaucracy. This victory marks the end of decentralization and the start of true imperial power. Wudi begins a reign that will transform China into a global superpower. Wudi officially adopts Confucianism as the bedrock of state ideology. The academy is founded to train officials in Confucian ethics and ritual. The civil service examination system begins to replace aristocratic birth with merit. A new class of officials emerges, owing their loyalty entirely to the state. To bypass the formal bureaucracy, Wudi creates the insider court. These personal attendants allow the emperor to execute policy with total secrecy. The censorate is strengthened to audit and monitor the growing bureaucracy. Confucianism provides a moral framework that justifies the emperor's absolute rule. Despite his Confucian state, the emperor remains fascinated by Taoist mysticism. Behind the Confucian mask, Wudi continues to use legalist methods to maintain control.
从今日起，新律推行，凡有违反者，皆按律必究。
Under Wudi, the Han state reaches the peak of its administrative complexity. The emperor initiates a series of aggressive campaigns to end the Xiongnu threat. The Han army masters the nomad's own style of high-speed cavalry warfare. Wei Qing spearheads the first major strikes deep into Xiongnu territory. Hua Chubing becomes a legend for his daring and successful cavalry raids. By 119 BCE, Han forces have driven the nomads north of the Gobi. The Han secure the Her Sea Corridor, the gateway to Central Asia. New commanderies and fortifications are built to consolidate the northern gains. Expansion continues south, resulting in the conquest of Nanyu in 111 BCE. The empire grows to include the diverse tribes of the southwest. Military commanderies are established as far north as the Korean peninsula. The Han transforms into a sprawling, multi-ethnic empire of global stature. These conquests define the geographic heart of China for centuries to come. Wudi dispatches Zhang Qian to find allies in the mysterious western regions. Captured by the Xiongnu, he is held for 10 years before finally escaping. He discovers sophisticated urban civilizations previously unknown to the Han. In 125 BCE, he brings back the first detailed reports of Central Asian cultures. A second mission in 119 BCE focuses on establishing formal diplomatic ties. News of heavenly horses, that sweat blood sparks Wudi's intense interest. Military force is used to secure the superior horses needed for the imperial cavalry. These diplomatic overtures effectively open the legendary Silk Road. Silk, gold, and iron are exchanged for grapes, alfalfa, and Western luxuries. Trade routes facilitate the exchange of ideas, technologies, and faiths. The tribute trade model projects Han influence far beyond its borders. China becomes a central node in the first great age of global trade. To fund his massive wars, Wudi moves to nationalize profitable industries. In 117 BCE, the state establishes monopolies over salt and iron. Officials like Seng Hongyang use legalist tactics to enrich the imperial treasury. The equitable marketing system profits from moving goods where they are needed. Balanced leveling allows the state to control prices and stop merchant speculation. The debate on salt and iron pits moral idealism against state pragmatism. Sima Qian compiles the Shiji, recording 2,500 years of Chinese history. Standardized 5-zhu coinage becomes the economic standard for 7 centuries. The refinement of papermaking revolutionizes record-keeping and literacy. Mathematical advancements allow for precise surveying, taxation, and engineering. Discoveries at Mawangdui reveal a high level of anatomical and medical knowledge. Science, literature, and art flourish under a stable, centralized state. Land becomes concentrated in the hands of local strongmen who evade taxes. Small farmers become tenant laborers, eroding the state's tax base and stability. The rise of consort power puts control in the hands of the empress's families. Wang Mang cultivates a public persona as the ultimate humble Confucian gentleman. After years of serving as regent, he takes the throne, ending the Western Han. His Wangtian policy nationalizes all land to redistribute it to the poor. Constant, arbitrary currency changes cause massive inflation and economic ruin. Violent resistance from the wealthy and flawed reforms lead to total chaos. In 11 CE, a catastrophic flood kills millions and displaces millions more. The Red Eyebrows Peasant Rebellion rises amidst the famine and floods. In 23 CE, the capital falls and Wang Mang is killed, ending his short-lived experiment. Though the Western Han fell, its legacy of unity was soon restored by the Eastern Han.